Is Haven XHV dead? I mean, it has dumped from $20 to $250 in a straight line down. And is it me who have dumped? Maybe I'm the culprit. And why does it even matter? This is a small project, who cares? I will answer all these three questions, and the last one first. Well, I care because I believe that privacy features is a necessary part of future blockchain protocols to enable a wider use of blockchain technology, just as HTTPS enabled World Wide Web for security-sensitive use, and just as encryption enabled the use of mobile phones for 5 billion people. You might not fully realize how much work went into building that privacy-preserving technology while still combining it with lawful intercept for national security and criminal justice purposes. If we hadn't done that, there would not have been a mobile phone revolution. And without the SSL, or rather TLS, below HTTP, internet would not have succeeded to the extent that it has. And I'm almost certain that fast forward 20 years, some kind of privacy-preserving protocol will be an obvious part of blockchain technology, just as it's in mobile and internet technology today. Short term, of course, it will face regulatory resistance. They might ban it, just as they did with the other two technologies when it came to encryption and privacy. This is why I care. I applaud those few protocols that is pushing the envelope and they're really innovating. But innovation is hard. It's a path riddled with obstacles and with a slim chance of success somewhere in the middle. Now, let's answer the second question. Have I dumped? No, I have not dumped anything. Instead, what has happened is this. Some people have gamed the vault. And probably what they've done is something like this. Take your XHV in the vault, you send the XHV to an exchange. Then you sell the XHV to XUSD. And since XUSD has been trading at below $1, maybe you could buy it at 90 cents. Then you send those XUSD back here into the vault, and when you convert in the vault from XUSD to XHV, it will be converted at $1. So if you could buy the XHV at 90 cents and convert it using $1, you've created an infinite loop here where you can make 10% on each iteration. And has XUSD been trading below $1? Well, let's check. $1 is here, and as it turns out, yes, it has. And after XHV 2.0 activation here, this has in fact led to an increase in XHV supply. Perhaps. Because there has also been a reduction in the X asset supply during the same period. And then it is natural that some of this is converting back, meaning minting back into XHV. The team is not unaware of this. They have made a mitigation proposal to slow down this loop and make it more risky in case price moves for other reasons. And right now there is a Discord vote on this, and the leading proposal is yes, with 21 days offshore lock, as proposed by the team here. So this must come as a shock to everyone. I sure hope not, because I explained this risk in the video I recorded on November 12th. Let's listen to it. Even if it doesn't get hacked, there is another major risk. The Haven XHV ecosystem needs to grow fairly fast. It needs size to be secure. It needs constant inflow of funds to be secure, because if it doesn't, this can be gamed by manipulating the exchange price on one side and converting in the vault on the other side, and you can manipulate this. And in fact, I explained this risk even clearer in the video on March 5th last year, almost 10 months ago. Let's listen to what I said then. But with XHV, there is a possibly even bigger problem, and that is inflation manipulation. If order books are small or thin on exchanges, it's cheap to manipulate price there. And since there is no slippage on Haven protocol, you can do things like this. First, you convert 100,000 XHV to 1 million XUSD at XHV price $10. Then you dump the price to $5 on exchanges. That doesn't cost much if order books are thin. Then you convert back on the Haven protocol, and now you have 200,000 XHV. Then you drive the price back up to $10 again on exchanges, and you start the loop all over again. The team has put some protection in place, but there is a much stronger defense. What is that? Now this is almost exactly what happened, unfortunately, and I hope by now that it's clear that the growth is a survival necessity, not a nice to have. It's time to first fix this problem with the short-term mitigation opportunity and then pull out all the stops with marketing and outreach, because the only true defense against this kind of gaming is the growth. It is the constant inflow of capital making this kind of gamings risky and less attractive to do. So is the idea with Haven XHV dead now that it turns out that you can game it like this? No. How can I say that with such certainty? Well, because Terra Luna is doing the exact same idea. It's the exact same mechanism. And looking back at the history, I couldn't quite remember, but so I looked back on the history. Terra Luna was created in January 2018. That's the exact same time as the Haven protocol. Now, I don't know the history well enough to know if it was the original Haven team who came up with the idea and Terra Luna took the idea or borrowed the same idea, or if it was the other way around. It doesn't matter. Terra Luna has shown that the idea holds up. Luna has gone 500x from the bottom. It achieved this growth. But as I've said on this channel many times, the value in a good idea is very small. It's how well you execute on that good idea that really matters in the end. Clearly, Terra Luna has executed very well. They've gotten great growth. The idea worked. In fact, Terra Luna has proven that this idea works and can lead to this kind of 500x or 1000x growth in the volatile assets, exactly like I've said from the beginning. It just hasn't happened on XHV, at least not yet. Will Haven XHV get the same growth? Well, we'll have to see. It depends on the execution. It does not depend on the idea. Now let's look at the chart, the sad chart. I've gotten some messages that it's your fault because you talked about this project and now I've lost money. First, I'm sorry you lost money. I'm here to try to educate, try to give value, but I think that comment is not fair. Because in the video from March 5th, 10 months ago, I said this. And I'm actually going further than that. Tech investment is a game of a small chance for a big gain. If you don't understand what that means, don't start by investing, start by educating yourself first. And I truly mean that. If you don't know what you're doing, don't invest, educate yourself first. And look here, I just checked. The previous video was recorded on November 12th and price then was $12. Then it kept going up for several days here until it hit $20. So you had several days here to move your stops into profit. Why didn't you do that? I think the answer is that you don't know the basics of trade management. So you don't know that you were supposed to do that. Then learn those steps first. Hold off from even touching any market. And look here what I said about resistance. Then the current resistance is right here at 20k sats. Then it's 30k. I even nailed exactly where the first resistance was at 30k sats. So you could blindly sell there, pocket a nice profit, take out your whole initial investment plus some and let the rest ride forever. In case this works out in the end, then with zero risk. Guys, I can't tie your shoes. You have to educate yourself. If you don't like my course, fine, then don't take it. But if you're too lazy to educate yourself, don't come to me and complain. This is not financial advice. I'm an engineer, not a financial advisor, and I try to be very careful to not recommend you to do anything. I'm just educating, sometimes entertaining, and showing possibilities for you to decide if you want to act on or not based on everything you have learned about trading the markets. Actually, that is wrong. I do advise you to do one thing, and that is to educate yourself before you do anything else. And if you don't follow that advice, I really can't help you. Then if you come in kind of late here, which it was when I made the last video, you have to be even more diligent with your stop loss and the execution on that stop loss strategy. Because I've talked about this one for years, and if we zoom out a little bit, and if we look at the BTC chart first, remember I highlighted this inverse head and shoulder that broke out here sometime in May 2020. That was at 50 cents. And then on the USD chart, as I highlighted then, we had this very well-defined ascending triangle that broke out here at 280, which is still almost exactly the same price as we are today. And in fact, that level has not broken down yet. And if you just stop to look at that one more time, you see here how key this level of 280 has been all the way back from 2018, here June 2020, September 2020, January 2021, July 2021, and now again in January 2022. So this is a very strong support resistance level on the USD chart, and so far it has held. But if we switch to the BTC chart, it has not held. It actually broke down. You see here the support level, all these touches. This time it broke down. So on the USD chart, we're on a solid support right now, while on the BTC chart, we're actually below that support, which makes the picture right now a little bit murky. So let's finally answer the first question. Is Haven XHV dead? No, it's not dead yet, but time, I think, is starting to run out. The confidence is shaken, while I do understand the team. When they went too fast, there were bugs and the protocol got hacked. But if moving too slowly, if growing too slowly, if we're too slow to mitigate this gaming of the platform, they get supply manipulation instead. As a boss in global technology development for 2+ decades, of course I always got the question from my guys. Yeah, but do you want fast or do you want good? But the real answer is that you don't have that luxury. You have to do both. Because if you don't, someone else will take your idea, move faster, and eat your lunch. This gaming of the vault has to stop, and it has to stop fast. February 9th is almost a month from now. Can it be done faster? I think that's the question to ask. And now is the time to start getting that growth and market outreach, which is the real defense, the real mitigation, as I've said now for a year. Because even with 21 days lock time, this can still be gamed just in slower cycles and with higher risk, if there is no growth. But if there is constant growth and inflow, that effect will be far larger than the manipulation game can ever reach. And then this is going to work out. So if growth doesn't happen, this project will die. And I would be very sad to see that, because I truly believe this technology would be a great addition to the crypto industry and could potentially take this whole industry one step forward. So this is it. It's time for action. If you believe in this project, try to help the team. This is the time to outreach. There is nothing to wait for. It's now or never, really. If you haven't seen the 2 previous Haven videos, please do watch them. Everything I say there is still relevant. At least one of them is a little bit funny. If you have seen them, see you in this video instead. C2 Larsson out. Thank you, tack. Hej då!